about 9 o'clock. So we'll see. Good morning, everybody. If you're wondering what we're talking about, I'm on my way to the depot today. It's going to be raining tomorrow. It's actually raining now, to be honest. There's a few spits and spots on the windscreen, unless that's come from the bonnet, which normally does. Let me just get off this path. So we're on the way to depot now, a place called Carlton Lakes. You've got Elford Bridge, or thereabouts, and then you've got another bridge at Carlton Lakes, and it's usually there where there's floods. And I've had to turn around in the past several times. We went to the shops the other day, and all of Tamworth floodplain is the highest I've known it for a long time. So I've just made the decision. I said, look, because Sam didn't get much sleep, and you know, it's that time of year where I save money for this time of the year, and as long as we break even, you know, having a time off isn't a major issue. Not only that, we've been to the depot last week, so it's a case of this is an extra to top up our money. So I said to him, look, I'll make the decision if we have to turn around because of the floods, because the only way of doing it is literally, I mean, this is where experience comes in. Last time we had the floods, I went to a place called Eddingale, flooded, couldn't get through. There's literally the only way to get through to Burton from Tamworth if it's flooded there is to come back all the way to here, and where that white car is coming out just at the junction, go down there and then find the A5 bypass. I really do not know any other way. That is probably the quickest way, and it adds an hour to your journey. So by the time we get there, it'll be about 9, half 9. So I just says, look, if we have to turn round, then that'll be it. We'll just have to just not go. I don't need to inform the depot. As I say, it is an extra. But, you know, it just means that yeah, we have another day off. We're not working tomorrow, because obviously tomorrow is a depot day, and we're doing it today because tomorrow's wet. There is wet in the air, but again, I think it's just moisture in the air. I don't think it's actually raining. So that is that. Another thing is, I am going to talk about what the title of this is about. The other thing is, I was watching Pete, the tattoo gardener, the other day, and he's gotten rid of his old van, and he's bought a new van. That's good news, because it's always good, because I think he had a lot of problems with that van, I'm not too sure. So he sold his old van and he waved it on and everything, and I never give it any thought. And then yesterday I was watching Auto Detailer, or I can't remember his name, and he says, oh, I bought something, have I made a mistake? And I'm like, yeah, you bought a van, mate, didn't you? You bought a van. If I got your name wrong, I do apologise. I've been watching this guy for months now, literally months, and I find him really interesting, all the different products and stuff. And it's his brother. He's like, oh wow. So yeah, he's brought it. Yeah, it's really flooded here. Oh, Sam can't hear me because she's got her earphones in. So I think, I got a feeling we're going to be turning. So yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was Pete's brother. I've been watching this guy for months, and he was obviously having a tour of Pete's van. Pete, you're disgusting. And yeah, bit of a weird one that. So finally happening, isn't it? It's actually finally happened after 30 years. I mean, 30 years, the book sort of started to really flesh out. I had a solid character that I was actually happy with. Okay, I'm going to give you a backstory on this. So the idea is when I was a kid, I remember it was got to be like in my single years, my single number years, because I was living in Wolverhampton, and I'm not going to tell you it weren't quite a superhero, but that type of thing. But I made up this character, and I was about 6 or 7 years old, and it was a very weird character. Should I say or shouldn't I? I don't know why, but I based it on the bloody Prime Minister at the time. I know. I think it's because I kept hearing the name. I was 6 years old, for God's sake. Anyway, so this guy, he was not really a superhero. I don't know what he was. it was all to do with music, and that's all I can remember vaguely. And then when I moved to Tamworth in the 80s, the very sort of 70s, 80s, I had a picture of a golden eagle. And if you remember Space 1999, there was a woman in there. She could morph into different animals and whatever. I think people, I'm not too sure, I can't remember. And her name was Maya, and I just liked the idea. And there was also, oh yeah. There was this character is just after Eagle. His name. Laugh at not a pretty face like this. He's just going to laugh at heard it, and all I could hear was him say "go away," and it was turning into a werewolf. And I was telling somebody about it. Oh, that's that American Werewolf. That sounds crap. Because John Landis did the same effects. He did the effects for Thriller, and he also the werewolf in Thriller, and he also did the effects. It was him who did the effects on American Werewolf and Thriller, and I thought, yeah, that's the character I want to be. Something really scary with a really inhuman, deep voice, and that's how the wolf evolved. And since then, it's like turned into this multi-dimensional being superhero type thing, and it's got quite a deep story. Now the thing is, it's like one of the things about this character, it's obviously based on, not based on me, but sort of based on my ideas, and I've had to water it down a lot, because I do have this negative outlook on things, and I do want to change it. I see people throwing litter on the floor, and I want to punch the fucking lights out of them and think, why do you have to do that? But you know, you can't change people, and that's partly what the story's about, even though it's a sci-fi and what have you, and all about time travel and God knows whatever else. There's a lot of sort of social commentary in it, because it's how I see things sometimes. Again, watered down, but it is how I see things. And the first chapter deals with suicide and what have you, and you know, things like that. And I've actually put on there like a preface preface where it just tells you about the book and just says, look, if you ever feel like that, just try and find somebody you can talk to. I can't remember what it says, but don't be unheard. I think we can get through. I have a feeling we can get through, and the reason is because I haven't seen many cars coming this way. It's usually here where it's really bad. I don't know whether you can see on the camera, but the fields are completely water soaked, and I'm going to guess this is it ain't as bad. It is flooded, but it ain't nowhere near as bad as it is. If these guys get through, then we'll get through. So, as I say, I've got the first. Come on, come through. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Be careful.
It's like they're just.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Thanks a lot. Fucking twat. It's like, you know, I'll just sit here and wait for my fucking health, shall I? Yeah, I think tonight we're going to have to go the other way. I don't know whether you can hear me, Sam. No, she can't hear me. See, the problem is that on the way back we're going to have to go back, but we don't know how bad it's got round the corner, because it's usually round the corner where people get stuck. So I was talking to you, I wasn't talking to my people. Well, I was talking to both of you, really. Yeah. All right, ignore me then. Put your earduffs back in. Earduffs. So yeah, as I say, I got the first chapter out, and I have put some graphics to sort of go with the video and what have you. The audio books. It's more of an audio book, but it's like I'm not spending too much time on it. If I get enough people listening to it, then maybe I will. Maybe I'll just put on. Put a little thing on there saying, do you want me to animate this in some way? If I get enough subscribers and I start earning a bit of pennies from it, then maybe I'll I'll start making AI, because I use AI to do the graphics and stuff, and I might start using the AI to make videos to go with it, or you know, animations to go with it, just to give a bit of interest if you're watching it, not just listening. So, and I think if I do a chapter, if I can get a chapter out each week, it's going to be hard, but if I can, then that'd be good. I mean, the storyline's pretty much there, it's just fleshing it out. I have the full synopsis, and it's just trying to get it all fleshed out. I am using ChatGPT to polish my story. I've written this loads of times, different iterations, but it works. I can actually put all the iterations in the story because of the multiverse. So you know, it does work. But I did many different iterations of the same story, different origins, different scenarios, different sort of characters and what have you. So you know, but I gave my last draft before doing this one to, well, it's actually second from last draft, before doing this one, to my mum to read, and she never read it. And the thing is, to be honest, it'd be hard to read because it reads like something a child would write. No, it wasn't quite like that. Once upon a time, there was this sad, lonely old man. He sat in his van talking to YouTube. And YouTube sat there thinking, what the fuck are you talking about, you sad, lonely old man? But, you know, so what I did was, I've written the story out in pieces, and then I've got ChatGPT to sort of polish it, you know. Oh, and also, I'll tell you what, it's good for plot holes, because you can create a project in ChatGPT, and then it remembers from previous chats within that project. So you can say to ChatGPT, because chapter 2 is a different project, but it's got chapter 1, the polished version. So I can use ChatGPT now to reference the polished version of chapter 1, and also anything that I write to check out for plot holes and stuff. The one thing I have done is I've kept all my drafts and stuff in different documents, and the reason being is because copyright and stuff like that, because obviously, you know, it's out there on YouTube, and somebody might think, oh well, I'll do that, I'll do the copyright, I'll make that film. Can you imagine if somebody made... No, it wouldn't, it just wouldn't happen. But on the unlikely event that it did, at least then I've got copyright on it. I've emailed a copy, and I'm going to email the copy of the synopsis that I wrote, so that I can say, look, you know, you've copied my idea. They may have copied all the names and stuff, but you've actually copied my idea. So do I put the link in this description? I'll put the link in, I may as well. If you want to look at it, it's up to you. I mean, it's hard because this is a personal thing. It's like when you do a drawing, you know, you used to draw as a kid and stuff, and you give it to your parents, say, what do you think? And it's just like a stick man holding a lollipop that looks like a penis. But you get what I mean. It's like, you know, and you're like 21 years old when you drew it. But you get what I mean. You do, because I have done drawings in the past. I've done photography and stuff like that, and it's hard because I used to be a member of something called ePhotozine, and you put your photos on there, and then you get people saying, yeah, it's good, but same as I used to be a member of a photography group, and you know, you have your sort of photos showcased, and it's hard because people will yeah, it's good, but you know, oh no, I'm not too keen on the colours of that one, and it's something you're really proud of. So it's hard, it's really hard to put yourself out there. You're sort of quite vulnerable. So, but if I don't do it, I never will. And it's one of these things, you know, just over 10 years ago, I'm sitting there thinking, I've got to do something with my life. What can I do? What can I do? Somebody says about becoming well, I became self-unemployed, and somebody says, can you cut my lawn? And the thing is, I think in my heart of hearts, I knew I needed to do something similar to what I'm doing now. I was more inclined to do garden tidies and stuff like that, but I wanted to do something like I'm doing now. But I just kept thinking, what happens if I fail? What happens if I'm no good? What happens if people laugh at me? And it's that sort of same thing. You just got to go for it. You know, if you're watching this and you're sitting there thinking the same thing, what have you got to lose? If you're read the book. If you're on a bridge and you're thinking of jumping, just think to yourself, if you don't jump and just see what tomorrow brings, and just keep seeing what tomorrow brings, what have you got to lose? You've literally got nothing to lose at that point. You know, you can either live or die. It's as simple as that. So why not live and just see how far it can go? Because you have nothing to lose. So that's the thing. People are thinking, I've lost everything, I haven't got a life. If you start thinking, I've got nothing to lose, that's the attitude. I think that's a switch inside you that has to change. You've got to sort of stop thinking, I've lost everything or I've got nothing, to, well, what have I got to lose? Literally, what have I got to lose? And then each day make it worthwhile, make it, you know, even if it's just a case of you go out there and pick up a bit of litter, you might be thinking, well, what good is this? What point is this? Well, you're doing something for the better of the environment, you're doing something good. You know, I know me, I started volunteering in a charity shop because I thought, well, I've got fuck all to lose. And then that changed everything, didn't it? Because I met Sam. She was one of the dummies holding the clothes. Sorry, Sam. So I was just saying about how I met you in the charity shop, and I said you were one of the dummies holding the clothes. You know, she was stood in the shop window. I thought, that thing looks alive. I did actually meet her in the charity shop. She kept fraternising. I keep saying she kept fraternising with me around the wedding dresses. But yeah, you don't know what things are gonna change. So it's a case of a mindset change, and it's hard. It really is hard. I mean, I literally have fuck all to lose. It's the same as when I become self-unemployed. I have nothing to lose. You know, when they start sending letters like that, you think, well, you could easily turn around and say, well, I'm going to lose everything. But I just thought, I've got nothing to lose. And I think that's the attitude that you need to have. Doesn't matter how desperate things are, you just got to keep thinking to yourself, I've got nothing to lose. I'm not going to say who, but I know somebody whose life is, well, I don't know what their life is like now. I do know that they've had, it's been a rough life. I don't know why, I don't know their circumstances, but I know it's been rough life, drugs, arrests, and God knows whatever else. This is somebody I know very, very well. And the thing is, if they just had that switch inside them, they could just say, what have I got to lose? Stop the drugs, stop this, stop that, because what have I got to lose? But the thing is, it takes a very, very strong person to be able to do that. You've got to be really, really strong. I honestly think that I don't know what, you know, this generation, I think they're going to struggle, because one thing that the 70s have taught us is resilience. You know, we weren't allowed to talk about our emotions. We weren't allowed to be gender neutral fluids, you know, liquid people. I don't know, you know what I mean. But we weren't. None of that really existed. You know, cross-dressing. That was frowned upon. You're a pufter if you're a cross-dresser. You know, all that kind of stuff. And you know, so we built resilience, and that, you know, that makes us stronger. And what does it? It's an old saying. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And you know, that's the thing. It's like, you know, I won't say that's the theme of the first chapter, you know, that kind of thing, but it is quite prominent, and that's the type of thing. Even though this book is, as I say, this book is a sci-fi and what have you, and features superheroes, and it seems funny it's stupid me saying that, but come on, you know, you got Stanley and Marvel, all these different what's it do, talking about superheroes and stuff like that. So, you know, you're not all people with buck teeth and thick glasses. I mean, Henry Cavill, he likes Warhammer. He's a geek. Does he look like a geek? Would you say it to his face? No. So, you know, maybe it isn't that stupid. I mean, when I first started watching Stranger Things, I kept thinking, what the fucking hell? This is a kids' programme, but it ain't. And it was, the first time I watched it, I found it difficult to follow because I'm not really into sort of Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. And I thought, oh, this is going to be about Dungeons and Dragons. But then, when I got into it, I thought, okay. But I still didn't understand, you know, the myth, you know, the meaning of upside down and God knows what else. And what it is, it's just their way of explaining things, their way of naming things. It's just easier for them to understand. There is no name for whoever. It is just a name that they gave. So, you know. So, I shall be hopefully getting my second chapter out by Saturday. Yeah, I think in the summer I'm going to really struggle because that's when things will really pick up and I'll be so tired. I mean, I've got tomorrow all day to sort out, but I've got other things I need to do. I'll tell you what I did do. I might put a photo of it on here. It was quite interesting because I have actually signed up for a subscription on ChatGPT. Now, if you follow me on Facebook, you'll know I don't like these subscription-based things, but you know, I can understand something like that because, you know, you're sort of using their machines. There's no way you can get it on your machine. Your machine just wouldn't be powerful enough to hold AI. And not only that, I have tried to get stuff like that on my computer, and it is a bloody nightmare because obviously it's open source. The stuff that I've tried to get on the computer, sort of, what is it? I can't remember the name of the AI software, but I did try to get the AI software on. And you got to go to GitHub and all this stuff. And you go on these tutorials. They say, right, what you need to do is click on this link, and you click on the link. This link looks a little bit different. You open it up, and it's a totally different interface. It's like everything changes so rapidly. So it's just easier. But anyway, so I've signed up to this ChatGPT thing, and obviously it does image creation, which is really cool because I took a photo of my front room. Now we've just moved back into our flat. Took a photo of my front room, and I thought, I want to get this cosy. I want to get into a room where we can sit in there and just really enjoy just sitting in there, just get away, close ourselves off from the world outside. So I took a photo of the front room and I said to ChatGPT, keeping everything the same, just make it look more cozier, and it did, and it looked really good. So we have gone out and tried to sort of mimic, buy little trinkets and stuff to mimic what it actually come up with, and it really does feel really, really cozy. It feels really nice to just sit in there on the night time. It has made a massive difference. So AI, because even though I do talk about AI and stuff like that and say, oh, it's, you know, it's a bad thing and whatever, but you know, it's like everything, and this is one of the moral things I want to say in my story. It's like everything. People have a habit of abusing everything. You know, you've got let's take beer and whatever. It's like people use it. They use it and abuse it. They can't stop. Chocolate, I'm terrible for it, and I've had to stop myself sometimes from eating loads and loads of chocolate. And that's what people do. They you know, it's such a nice treat, and that's what it should be. But then people don't stop, and they just keep eating and eating and eating, like I did. You know, and pre-cooked meals, processed meals, they were just more of a convenient, you know, you haven't got time to cook a meal, so what you can do is you can go to a shop, buy something that's quick and easy to do. Oh, I just want something quick tonight, I've worked hard all day and I don't fancy cooking, so I'll just have something quick and easy. And that's the problem, and then it becomes habitual. So many people just eat takeouts and stuff like that all the time. I just think, wow, do you not actually cook anything? We cook stuff that's simple. We're not adventure cooker, eating people, whatever you want to call it. I call it kid food, and it's basically what, you know, what I would have eaten as a kid when I was younger. Meat and 2 veg. That's it. You know, you've got a bit of meat, potatoes, peas, simple as that. But these aren't shop bought potatoes. Well, they're shop bought potatoes, but they're potatoes. You've got to peel them, cut them, and then we steam them. Peas, yeah, they're frozen peas. They're not tin peas or anything like that, or whatever. They're just. And the thing is, all right, it's still quite simple, easy. Sam will come home tonight. She'll chop up a load of spuds, chuck them in the steamer, along with the peas. An hour later, or just under, she'll put the meat in. Tonight it's sausages. So there you go. We've got the convenience of sausages. So that's our sort of processed foods. So generally the meat is processed. Unfortunately, it's what, as I say, it's what we call kid food. But at least it's not something. I mean, you can go into a shop and you can actually buy that from the freezer, the whole meal from a freezer, chuck it in a microwave, 3 minutes it's done. So that's the problem. People don't want to do, even though it's still not, you know, a proper, what I would consider a proper meal. You know, people don't even want to go that far. They don't even want to cut potatoes, spuds, potatoes. They don't want to cook potatoes or peas or anything like that, a bit of veg, which is, you know, as I say, it's a shortcut. It's just, you know, taken something that is supposed to be a convenience and abused it, really. And I'm sorry, but that's how I see it. It's just overly done. Nicorette pack. Okay, vapes. There's another one. Originally, a vape was designed to help people quit smoking. And now they've become an alternate to smoking, and probably a lot worse for you. It's crazy because they've thought, right, how can we market this? How can we earn money? Because that's all it is money at the end of the day. It's like big corporate companies out there just earning money off people's gullibility. I'm sorry, but it is. It's gullibility. I used to smoke, and I wanted to quit. For years I wanted to quit. The amount of time, it's not easy. The amount of times I wanted to quit is unreal. I kept saying to myself over and over again, why am I putting money in somebody else's pocket? I don't have any to start with, so why am I doing this? Go on, mate. So eventually I did, and I did it cold turkey. I didn't use a vape or anything like that, although people start using vapes. That's how they start smoking, because that's how it is nowadays. It's not a case of I need to quit smoking, I'll use a vape. It's a case of this is cool, I'm going to vape. You know, it's stuff like that. There are other things I could talk about, but I won't. But you know, but that's the thing with the AI. It's like it's good at doing generating images and stuff like that, and toys in box yourself in a box, a toy box, or in a flooded field trying to mow a lake and stuff like that. It's good at stuff like that. But then people just, you know, I read recently that somebody had used ChatGPT to identify a plant to see if it was poisonous or not, and this was hemlock. If you know hemlock, you know how deadly it is. And the thing is, using AI for that reason and believing it, it's like YouTube. I say this on YouTube all the time. You know, stop believing what people say on YouTube, because, well, they might be wrong. Stop hanging on every word. And that's I don't know what generation it is, but that's this generation for you. Everything's a shortcut. Right, I'm going to go. I'm going to see you in another one, maybe on Wednesday, who knows.